Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that AI has completely changed the game in the past 12 months. But did you know that just this week, a brand new model has been released that makes AI videos incredibly hard to detect? Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step the process that you need to go through in order to make content for your e-commerce brand. And I'm talking content that can be used on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever platform you like in order to drive sales for you and your brand. I've been playing around with this model over the past few days, and trust me when I say that the quality is like no other. I actually made a video for a brand that I've been working with, and it was only about 20 seconds in length, and it generated over £1,000 in sales. That's crazy. But before we dive into that, if you haven't come across me before, my name's Janson and I own Honest Brands, which is a community for new and existing brand owners looking to absolutely smash it on platforms like Shopify, Amazon, and TikTok. And we teach all sorts of techniques, including the ones that I'm going to be running through in this video. So if you need help with starting or scaling your own brand, then check out the link in the description below, where you'll find even more details about how we can help you. All right, so let's now run through the workflow that I've been following in order to generate super realistic videos that you can use to advertise your products on TikTok, Shopify, Meta, anywhere that can host a video. And like I said earlier, a brand new AI model has just dropped that looks so realistic that it's more or less impossible to tell that it's AI. So you combine that with this workflow and you and your brand are going to be printing. So the first thing that you're going to need to do as part of this workflow is your idea generation. You need to come up with different ideas of what you want to show in your AI video, right? So the quickest way to get inspiration, in my opinion, is to head to a website called Social One, or to go to the Facebook ads library and start looking at your competitors and the type of videos that they're uploading. Now, what we want to be looking for really are different examples of B-roll. So the product that you yourself sell being used in various circumstances. Now, the main benefit of doing this type of AI content is it's going to allow you to showcase your product in so many different scenarios that if you were to film it yourself, it would either take you a very long time to do, or it would cost you a fortune to hire someone to film it for you, because it's going to look so professional. If you haven't come across Social One before, it is an awesome tool that will basically show you every single video that's gone viral relating to a TikTok shop product within the past 30 days. So it's super similar to Calidata and Fastmoss, except in my experience, it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot faster to show you what videos are going viral right now. Now, this is a tool that you do have to subscribe for, but if you use the link in the description below, you can get 50% off. And if you don't want to pay for a tool that you still want to follow this process, you can quite simply go to Facebook ads library and just search for competitors there and see what kind of videos they're running. With that being said though, this is definitely going to be the quickest way to finding inspiration, especially inspiration that's going viral right now. So if we dive into Social One, the first thing that you're going to want to do is come to the product section, and you're going to need to type in the name of a competitor or a similar product. So in this video, assume that I am promoting or selling my steamer, and I know that the #1 competitor of mine on TikTok is called Red Hut. So if we type them in there, you can see Red Hut steamer comes up, and we're going to click into it, and then we're going to change viral content to not be from today. We want to have a look at the last 30 days. So what you will then need to do is start watching each of these videos, and anytime that you see a clip that you're like, oh, that shows the product that I'm selling really well, what I want you to do is take a screenshot of it. So just to give you a super clear example of what I mean here, let's just say this video here, it's showing the steamer in the thumbnail cleaning what looks like, you know, a child's felt tip pen marks on the door. So what I would be doing is playing this video and then pausing it as soon as you see a frame that you think demonstrates the product really well, and you can imagine that starting a scene that is going to be created by AI. Now, the benefit of doing this is that you don't actually have to draw on your wall and then get your own product out and demonstrate it, which, like I said earlier, is probably going to take you a lot of time, and it's just not really going to look that clean, excuse the pun, or professional if you're trying to film it yourself. So what you want to do is you want to pause the frame like this, and then you'll want to copy it exactly like this, okay? And then what I would be doing is copying and pasting that into a Notion document, a Word document, wherever, just saving it, and if it's helpful, writing underneath what it is the scene in your mind is going to be showing. So the next step that you're going to need to take is to put each image or start of scene that you want to create into ChatGPT. And no, you're not going to be using ChatGPT to make any images or videos. What you are going to use it for is to help you put together a really detailed prompt that you're then going to use in an image editor called Nano Banana. Now, this step I'd say isn't absolutely essential, but it's really important to do if you want to make sure that your video, that your image created by Nano Banana is as high quality and as close to the original image that you've snapshotted as possible. So all you need to do is head to ChatGPT, paste one of the images that you've snapshotted, and then use a prompt similar to this. So I said, create a Nano Banana prompt for me based on the attached image, and then I basically just described what the image was actually showing, just in case the AI got confused. Now, something that's really cool here that you can also do is you can change the image however much you like. So in my example, I just said, can you change the texture of the wall? To be honest, the example image that I gave wasn't really something that you could modify that much anyway. So the only thing I could think of was just change the texture of the wall, but it could be anything, right? It could be change the color of the carpet, change the color of the product. It honestly doesn't matter. The key thing is though, is that you provide that source image to ChatGPT, you tell it to give you your Nano Banana prompt based on what you've uploaded, and you make any other changes within the text request, and then you press enter. And after around 10 seconds of waiting, you'll be given a really detailed Nano Banana prompt from ChatGPT, which you can then copy and paste into wherever you're going to be using Nano Banana. Now, if you have an Android phone, you will have Gemini on it, which is like the AI assistant that has Nano Banana inbuilt, and you can often use that for free. However, my platform of choice is Higgsfield, which is basically a platform of pretty much every single AI tool that you could ever want or need. It's priced quite reasonably. They can actually give you for about $20 a month unlimited Nano Banana generations. So for that reason, it's Higgsfield that I like to go to. Now, one thing that I would say that you'll want to do in order to speed up the amount of time that this process takes you is when you come into Higgsfield, you're going to go to Image, Nano Banana Pro, and then that will load up the tool where you'll see the prompt section at the bottom. You'll then need to copy the entire prompt that you got from ChatGPT into the prompt section at the bottom. Don't forget to also attach your reference image. And then, like I say, if you want to save time, what I would tend to do is increase the batch size to 2, 3, or 4. It will, of course, cost you more in credits, but it's just going to drastically reduce the amount of time that it takes to go through this. And you can see I've done it here. I actually put the batch size to be 2, and despite the prompt being identical, you can see that the image that was generated by Nano Banana was slightly different. And that's why it really does pay sometimes to increase the batch size, because you might be like, oh, actually, I kind of prefer this example image here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that step where you involve ChatGPT to help you craft a Nano Banana prompt, that isn't absolutely essential. It just basically reduces the chances that the output from Nano Banana is a load of rubbish, because it just provides so much detail that Nano Banana is like, yep, I fully understand what it is that I need to make. Just to demonstrate that sometimes a really simple prompt works too, this image actually, all I said was remake the attached image without text on it. And the example image was the snapshot, and it's basically done exactly what I needed it to do. So if you have a ChatGPT subscription, I would highly recommend just going through that additional step anyway. But if you don't, see what Nano Banana produces just with a very simple prompt. So the way that you're going to get Nano Banana to generate your end of scene image, so in this case, the image of the wall after it's been cleaned, is really easy, and it doesn't actually need to involve ChatGPT, unless of course the scene is super complicated, but this one isn't. So all you need to do is click into your start of scene image, which is going to be this one. You're then going to press reference in the corner, and that is simply going to attach the image into your prompt. And that's all I did. And then I just wrote recreate the scene identically, but remove all of the pen marks on the wall. I pressed create, and then you can see here it is now made our end of scene image. So now that you've done that once with me, what you're going to need to do now is repeat the process for every single image that you snapshotted as part of your research process at the beginning of this video. So for each scene that you've clipped from whatever TikTok or YouTube video, you need to recreate the open image on Nano Banana using ChatGPT, and then you need to recreate or create a closing image using Nano Banana to reflect the end end of the scene. Once you've done that, you'll have at least 6, I would say, pairs of images to reflect the start and end of each scene that you want to create. And then the next step is to use this sweet AI tool that has just released its latest model update that honestly makes it super difficult to even detect that it's AI in the first place. Even though there are tons of different AI video tools on Higgsfield that you can use for this exercise, the clear winner in my opinion is Kling, which just came out with its 3.0 model. Now, I would suggest, even if you have a Higgsfield subscription, just going onto Kling's website directly and subscribing there. The reason being is that it's so much quicker than going via Higgsfield. Honestly, it reduces the time in half, I would say, and they constantly have really good deals on to get tons of credits. In fact, if you click the link in the description below, you'll get 500 free credits on top of whatever subscription plan that you choose. And on average, a 10 to 15 second clip is going to cost you about 60 credits. So that's quite a few videos that you're going to get for free just by clicking the link below. The Kling website is super intuitive to use. As soon as you've created your account, come into generate, and then you want to go to video generation and then make sure 3.0 is selected. And then you can see here, it says add start and end frame. So this is where for every single scene that you want to generate, you're going to upload your open of scene image and then your close of scene image. So exactly what you created in Nano Banana. And then below that, you need to put in your prompt. I would suggest, just to ensure that you're not wasting credits, it's kind of different with Higgsfield Nano Banana because that's so cheap, but this can add up if you constantly keep getting it wrong. I would suggest using ChatGPT to really increase the chances that you get a prompt that it just gets off one video generation. So again, the prompt doesn't need to be anything complicated. Here, I just said within the same conversation, now generate a prompt for Kling that demonstrates the steamer being used on the wall, cleaning the pen marks. And then I just added, it's filmed on an iPhone, it needs to be ultra realistic POV, and the steamer is being used methodically. Obviously, you need to amend this prompt depending on what product it is that you want to demonstrate, but just try and give ChatGPT a little bit of clue as to the type of things that it should be putting into its prompt. And then bam, 10 seconds later, I've got a really detailed prompt that I can then copy and paste straight into Kling. Now, one really awesome feature that just released with Kling 3.0 is the ability to do multi-shot. So instead of putting in one prompt for one single shot over 10 seconds, you can click this button here, custom multi-shot, and it gives you the ability to put in 2 separate prompts that will basically give you 2 videos of 5 seconds each. So that's super helpful when making videos like this, where you just want the B-roll to be really short and you don't really want it to be 10 seconds in length. Making use of this feature is going to help you to ensure that your video is kept engaging because the B-roll is rapidly changing, and of course it's going to reduce your costs because you don't need to make as many new videos. Once you've put in your prompts and you've pressed generate, after about 5 to 10 minutes, you'll have a really cool lifelike clip. And then all you need to do is repeat the process for every single one of the scenes that you want to make. And you can see just scrolling through my Kling account, that is exactly what I've done. And I did that to produce this video here. And just look at how insanely realistic this one here looks, where I was demonstrating a Ninja smoothie maker. Honestly, you can barely tell, thanks to this new Kling model, that this thing is AI. And if at any point in your video you want to switch styles, so you don't want to do POV, you want to do you holding the product, then you can. Look at this example here where it's using the Kling model, but it's using something called character swap or motion control. So all you need to do to make use of that is, again, log into Kling and then go to the top where it says motion control. And there, all you're going to do is add your original video. This time it's going to be a real life filming of you, which I'll show here. And then you want to add your character image. And then it's as simple as pressing generate. And then you've basically created a completely fake person holding your product, which is going to be awesome if you're not that confident on getting on camera. So there you go. That is the exact workflow that I go through when I'm looking to make ultra realistic AI videos that you can use on your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much anywhere that eventually will lead to a customer hopefully making a purchase from you. Now, whether you're a new or existing brand owner, if you want to learn how to create your own brand using AI, you want to learn how to scale your results on any e-commerce platform, don't forget to check out the Honest Brands community, which I will link below. That is it for this video. See you next time.